Hello everybody, it's me, the Real Locomaniac. I'm back again with another 8-Bit Wars. Now today's 8-Bit Wars, as you can see, is a Chuckie Egg. Now normally the way I tend to do it is I get an arcade game and then I see how the conversions were on the Spectrum, Amstrad and the Commodore 64. But today it's sort of a 8-bit computer battle. Now to me, I'll be honest with you, the definitive version of Chuckie Egg was on the BBC Electron, so you know what, that is the one that is going to set the standards, and then the Spectrum, the Amstrad and the Commodore 64 just need to basically see which version was as close to this as possible. Now first things first, I want to quickly apologise. It's because I've never tried to emulate BBC before, and so I've accidentally cut off a little bit of the bottom of the screen. But anyway, this is one of my favourite games ever. This is Chuckie Egg. You control that fat little tubby fella, which his name is Henhouse Harry. And this game's nice and simple. All you basically have to do is climb up ladders, avoid those chickens or ducks, whatever the hell they are, and collect your eggs, and for extra points, collect some seeds. Now there is a reason why I'm also doing this as an 8-bit war video. On the 1HMPS forum, we've got like a high scoreboard, and this is one of the games we've included in it, so if you want to give it a go, why not? Anyway, that was the BBC Electron. Now this is the good old Specky version. Like I said before, the best version I found is the BBC Electron, but let's see how the Spectrum, Amstrad and Commodore 64 compare. So let me quickly just choose my keys there. For some reason I couldn't choose my normal 9 up, 8 down, 6 and 7 left and right. Okie dokie, let's give this game a go. Now the graphics are very similar to the BBC there, as you can see. There's a little bit of colour clash when the chickens and Henhouse Harry goes up the ladder, but you know, that's not a big deal. It's got some nice little sound effects there. The game moves along at a nice little sort of nifty pace there. Alright, got that. Just got that one damn egg to get. Here we go. Simple as. Now I've played this game non-stop for ages and ages, for years and years, and it definitely is one of my favourite games that I've actually ever played. This probably has to be my top 10 favourite games ever, and reason being is just because it's so damn playable. It's so easy to pick up and it's so hard to put down. I know it sounds like a dodgy line there, but it really is. You know, once you start playing it, you always want to see if you can get past the next level. Now, some of you guys will remember on the old Retromaniac side, Toxie posted his high score on this game, and bloody hell, that was a hell of a high score. So, you know, I tried to beat it, never got around to beating it, but at the 1HMPS forum, like I mentioned before, we have got our high scoreboard. And this is one of the games you can try and beat. One of the other games we've got there with a high score is Bomb Jack on the Specky, but there's loads more games that we'll add, and we'll see if we can try and beat the score. I think so far I am in the lead. Got Ototo and Atrum Diablos in 2nd and 3rd place. But yeah, back to the Specky version. I think this is a great sort of version. It plays very similar to the BBC. I think if anything the graphics may be a little bit titchier. It's got the same sort of sound effects. The eggs are a different colour though, the eggs are white here. But you know what, that doesn't take away anything from the gameplay. Now this game's all about skill, so if you fuck up, it is your own fault basically. Right, whoa. Skill there, collect the seeds. That's the thing as well, the game basically, the faster you do it in, the more points you get. Anyway, next up is the Amstrad version of Chuckie Egg. Now there's Henhouse Harry there. He's looking a little bit, he's not as chubby, he looks like he's been working out actually. The eggs are white there as well. It's got, the sound effects are somewhat slightly better, but then again, the sound effects weren't overly great. Now, I love these sort of games. There was loads of other games like this. There was like Load Runner and all these other sort of games. But what I want to know is, what was your first early sort of platformer game? What is your favourite? That is my question of the day. What is your favourite early sort of retro platformer type game? And I don't want you guys to include games like Super Mario Brothers, because to me that was a scrolling platform. But I mean, single screen platform is what I'm interested in. So please let me know, what was your favourite single screen platform game? Alright, so yeah, this version is pretty good. I think the graphics are a little bit bigger than the Spectrum there. But all these versions play pretty much the same. And again, certain people I've seen on YouTube, they bounce off walls just so they can land in certain places, and I'm thinking that is pure skill. Now this game does tend to loop back once you've finished a certain amount of levels. I can't remember whether it's after what, 10 or 15, but that duck that flies around in that, well, that's trapped in that cage, he will be unleashed, and he basically follows you around and tries to kill you. Now, believe it or not, a few months ago, after I made the Spanish review of Chuckie Egg on the Spectrum, I actually got into the zone. I never actually recorded it, but I did that bit where the duck gets loose, and then I did it again, and that was pretty impressive. And I balls it up there. That's what this game has got with the Spectrum version. It's got music when you die. Now those lifts, if you stay on top of those lifts, it will squish the hell out of you, so you don't want in-house Harry to die there. But I've been meaning to do an 8-bit war on this game for ages and ages. I always thought, you know, if memory served me right at the time, that all versions look pretty similar. Now, in most cases, they do. Now, coming up is the Commodore 64 version, and you know what I was saying? Most of the versions look pretty much exactly the same. This is one of the only versions that I've played which looks somewhat different. Here we go. If anything, with the brown sort of platforms like that, it kind of reminds me of Donkey Kong, actually. Now, Henhouse Harry there is turned into a bit of a mountie rather than a farmer. He's also, I don't know, he's wearing the same sort of colours as Super Mario. I don't like the way that sprite looks like. I don't like the little jump noise. The chickens are a lot smaller. They don't look as intimidating. They kind of look like some of the creatures that appear in Miner, actually. And look at that little duck in that cage. You know, if that's going to chase after me, I'm not going to be that scared. Now, the music's pretty good there when you die. Right, so... And the eggs are a bit brown, I think. Are they eggs, or chocolate eggs, or are they just, I don't know, turds? Something like that, but whatever it is, Henhouse Harry seems to like collecting them. I do find it funny, whenever he jumps it whistles. Yeah, but again, I find this a very ugly looking game. Why did they change the traditional style of Chuckie Egg? I mean, if it was good on the BBC, why change it to, I don't know, were they trying to be a bit more ambitious? Were they trying to show off, thinking, hey, look, we can change the sprite of Henhouse Harry. We can even make him have a little smile on his face. But you know what? I'm not too keen on this version. So for me, it is going to be between the Spectrum and the Amstrad versions. You know, I'm not a Commodore 64 hater like some people do think I am. I absolutely love, you know, all these three computers. You know, I love the Spectrum, I love the Amstrad, and I love the Commodore 64. Back in the days, you know, when I was younger, I admit it, I was a bit of a Spectrum fanboy. But then eventually I got myself an Amstrad, and then eventually I also got myself a Commodore 64. So it was just basically about having the game and appreciating it on, you know, different computers, because sometimes they did play and look somewhat different. So it was the best of all, you know. Gosh, that whistling does get a bit annoying. And I killed him. Right, so who am I going to pick to win this? Right, like I said, it's definitely not going to be the Commodore 64. I think I'm going to have to pick the Amstrad. The Amstrad is the winner of today's 8-Bit Wars. I'm the Real Locomaniac. I shall